Hey gang, Mocha Boy here. Got another update for you. So we're gonna do the Clan Wars wrap up from this weekend. We went up against Mexico Masters this weekend, and yeah, you want to talk about a bare knuckle brawl? This is about the most painful game of Rochambeau I've ever witnessed in my entire life. And for those of you that don't get the reference, Rochambeau is just a game where we kick each other in the nuts until somebody gives up. And I mean that's really what this clan war was about. For every single solid raid that we delivered onto Mexico Masters, they returned the favor in kind. And this clan war was unique in the respect that it literally came down to the last five fights. And at one point, we thought we only had one attack left, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, five people logged on, and we were scrambling to get them targets and get them prepped for their attacks. But I'll get into that a little bit later. The point I wanted to make with this, as we're going through this, is that it doesn't matter what level you are. If you're a Town Hall 7 or a Town Hall 8 or a Town Hall 9, everything you do in this game matters, and specifically the decisions that you make could impact the final outcome by a single point. And one specific decision there is one specific decision I wanted to cover, but we'll go through that in just a bit. So anyway, here are the results: 102 to 102. It was a draw that was they were able to come back in the last, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes of the game. Somebody must have logged on, realized they were losing, and he gemmed up two Mass Dragon raids, and he was able to three-star a couple of our one-star or two-star bases further down below. And yeah, I mean, they were able to bring it to a draw. So let's watch the drama unfold. Let's take a look again. So there have been a lot of grumblings about the way Supercell matches up clans, and here are our five Town Hall 9 bases and up against four Town Hall 10 bases, and then another maybe 11 Town Hall 9 bases, along with some tweaked Town Hall 10s. Now, bear in mind, a lot of these, especially like this guy here, Johnny Monster, uh, this is a tweaked base. I mean, look at his walls, and look at his defenses. He's still sporting level 2 wizard towers. Now, this is frustrating for a couple of different reasons. For a couple of different reasons, only because he rushed this base and was able to drop down two infernos, and we don't even have a Town Hall 10, so that nixes any type of freeze attacks or any go wee wee or go wipe, any effective go wee wee or go wipe strategy. So uh, with our current strategy, which has worked when the matchups are sensible, when we're faced with something like this, there really is no chance for our best players to go and attack this base, for anything more than a star. We were able to score a star off of this particular base, but that's only because it was so badly tweaked, and the defenses were just not where they needed to be. So this was susceptible to a dragon raid, but still, I mean, this is what we're up against, and there were four of these. So we'll keep that in mind for future raids. If the target selection is a little bit more sane and less skewed in this respect, we may be able to stick to the original plan. But the next time we're faced with something like this, we may have to rethink our target selection. So anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to the results. I'm going to point out a few different raids here that I wanted to point out some teaching moments, because there were some really cool things that happened during this raid. Uh, as usual, the raid started off with a bang. We were up ahead by 20 or 30 points. 24 hours later, we were still up by 50, 60 points, and then by probably within the last 5 or 10 hours, excuse me, 5 or 6 hours, they started to catch up. And at one point, they had actually passed us by a point, which only focused everybody more, and everybody jumped in to go in and start improving the scores. But yeah, OTG came in right away with his signature raid and was able to fire the opening salvo. And then what happened after this was really interesting. I mean, we're used to seeing, oh, 2-star and 3-star, woohoo, and rooting behind everybody. But wow, we to go from the last clan war, where we had something like 24 3-star battles, we only got held to about 9 this time, which was really rough. Uh, their bases were good. They had upgraded all of their air defenses, so that shut down a lot of our common attacks, and we had to reconfigure our armies to compensate. But yeah, I mean, from a 3-star perspective, we didn't score as many as we wanted, and a lot of bases that should have been 2-star attacks were only 1-star. But take for instance, Shime co-leader number 1 in the number 1 rank up against their number 1 rank, which was a pretty well upgraded Town Hall 10, and he was able to score a star off of him, which that helped in the end. So we saw some weird behavior coming out from them earlier on. We saw them sniping a few town halls, but they were matching our attack strategy, and that they were attacking their matches, and we saw that behavior early on, which gave us a little bit cause for concern. In the next 12 hours, we were able to go through and still the same thing. A lot of our common attacks that would normally score about 2 stars were only pulling in about 1 or 2 stars. A couple of really, really great defenses here. One in particular, Maxopoly, he's new in the guild. Max was able to shut down 2 high-level hog raids. So let's take a look here. Oops, let me slow that down. Hogs come in from the southeast, but some creative trap placement was able to pretty much punk the entire hog army in the opening parts of the battle. So yeah, I mean that's what happens when you dump everything. When you put all your eggs in one basket, you dump them all in from one side. So that didn't go so well for that guy. And this guy was Andre. He was one of their top 10 guys. I think Max is one of our rank 25 or 35. I forget. Actually, let's take a look. I'm curious to see. I mean, that was a pretty painful raid to watch, only because I'm sure they probably took a look at him and were like, yeah, we can probably 3-star this guy. And then they were a little surprised when that didn't happen. All right, so let's see what else is there. Just bear with me as I scroll through this. I wanted to point out just a couple of interesting raids. Smoking. Wow, this list is long. Come on. Okay, so one dragon raid in particular on a Town Hall 9 base. There are a few things that I'm going to point out as we open this up. First off, the Town Hall was an easy lure. On the bottom right-hand side, unfortunately, lost his Burger King right away, but Wizards came in and started taking out some targets. And what he's doing is clearing a lot of the trash here, so that the dragons don't get distracted. And talk about good pathing, finally, for troops that are they're historically really bad with pathing. When you mean for them to go left, they end up going right. But this base was so compact, and the air defenses were just not protected enough that he was able to pass the dragons directly into the air defenses and then 3-star this base. Memorize this layout and be able to recognize this for what it is, because the more compact these bases are, the easier they are, and the more susceptible they are to this type of attack. So just remember that. All right. So great job there with one of the earlier 3-stars. Let's do it this way. So skipping to the end, and I'll cover some of these other raids in detail separately. I just wanted to get to kind of the juicy parts of this raid. So what happened was, and this is what was really cool. We got down to the last 5 hours of the raid, and we were going through and assessing their bases, looking through looking through the clan list to see who was cooking up armies and who wasn't. And we were trying to get a sense for who was active and who was not. We knew at the outset that they were missing 12 attacks because 6 of their players just up and disappeared. What we were also seeing was that there were another, 8 people who, for one reason or another, were just AFK. So we were trying to get some good intelligence on how many attacks they had left. So let me paint a picture. Where it came down to was within the last few hours of the raid, all of the attempts on our top 10 Town Hall 9 bases were unsuccessful, with the exception of MJP, and that was only 1-star. So we fought off a lot of those attacks, and it came down to CYB Johnny, because Alex got 2-starred there, Gogo got 2-starred, and then it was CYB Johnny, and then my base. Neither of us had been attacked up until the end. Probably thought they could save us for 3 stars. Um, I knew what was coming. I was going to get hogged because my base is configured to repel um, dragon raids. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so here we go. Number 4 guy against the number 18. Here come the mass hogs. And just watch the battle unfold. First off, the lure comes in from the bottom left-hand corner. Doesn't pull anything. Talk about a stroke of luck there. Figures that cannon's no good. He'll go for another cannon. So he'll go for the western cannon. Again, nothing. Realizes he's starting to run out of time, and he's got to do something. So the king's already aggroed, so he'll start pulling out the king. He's got the king down. Deploys his reinforcements along with his level 6 wizards. He's down. Here comes the hogs. Down on the bottom left-hand corner, they start pathing through the bottom of the base, which is the way it's designed. And then, holy hell, it starts pouring out of the clan castle. And, yeah, they start pathing through the base, and since they're defense-led, they completely ignore the reinforcements. And, he's got all heals, so there's nothing to take care of them. Notice the panic heal there. He double healed. And just so that you know, those do stack. So if you need some fast healing, that's the way to do it. But it didn't matter because there was so much DPS in that clan castle that there was no way any of them would ever survive. So, yep, he's got his Archer Queen out and his Barbarian King, both level 1. Not really going to be effective. 42%, 44%. That sound you hear, it's the sound of victory slipping away, brother. And the Burger King's down at 47%. That's the number 4 guy completely shut out. And then unfortunately, because of the way that my base is designed, somebody came in and followed up with a 200 archer attack and was able to 1-star me. Yeah, that was pretty much it for that raid. And then, CYB Johnny, something similar happened. He was able to hold them to, I think he defended the first time, but then McTaff, who had an all-dragon army, came in a little bit later and was able to 2-star him. But thank God he was able to 2-star him because that kept the fight pretty even at that point. So then CYB was down. They were up by 1. It was like 100 to 99. And then, like I said, all of a sudden everybody started pouring out of the woodwork. Ryan came in, Nacho came in, Dekots, and Sack, Meow. All of these guys came in to try to improve our score. They looked for some of the easier bases that were already 1-star that had exposed THs, and were able to go in there and 2-star them. And at one point we were at 102 to 100, and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, this guy Chewy 12 comes in and 3-stars a couple of our bases. And really unfortunate too because Matty has a great design for dragon raids, but this guy had just enough luck to get past the defenses this time, and eventually your luck's going to run out. Maybe he had a higher rage, who knows? But Chewy was, I think he was number 25 rank, and he went after Matty and a couple of other guys. Van Stein was able to even up the score for a draw. So unfortunate, but what are you going to do? We fought great as a clan. We scored 92 points. Excuse me, we scored 102 points on 92 attacks to their 70 some odd attacks. Everybody acknowledges that had they had more attacks, this probably would have turned out a little differently. But, it is what it is. Supercell's rankings are weird. We get it. But the things that we want to take away from this, upgrade your air defenses. Absolutely, push them to level 5 if at all possible. Focus on learning the lore. Understand how to visualize where that clan castle aggro range is. And if you don't know how to do that, when you're scouting a base, just click on the clan castle and you'll see the aggro range. And one of the most popular ways to aggro this, especially if the defensive structures are inside, or just send in a couple of hogs. They'll last long enough to pull out what's in there. If you're unlucky and they've got like 25 troops, you're probably not going to pull them out, or you'll end up, sacrificing a lot to pull them out. But that's a great way to do it. Um, what else? What else? Let's take a look at. There was just one more. There was just one more raid I wanted to cover, and it was only because this was so smart as I was looking through this. And I'll cover more of these replays over the course of time. But Asian Genius comes in. He's got a Mass Dragon army cooked up, and we're like, dude, there's nothing that we can do. You've got to go up against a higher level opponent. You've got to improve our score. Asian stepped up to the base and said, no problem. I'll do my part. Now notice what he's doing here. He's cleaning out the center camp, this army camp. Now these have more hit points than the collector structures right next to them, so dragons would end up getting stalled here. So what he's doing is he's creating 2 lanes that he's going to deploy his 2 dragons and put them on a straight path right towards the air defenses, and that's exactly what happens here. And then the rages are going to get dropped in just about a second, and boom, they start pathing directly to the air defenses. The clan castle is pretty ineffectual in these scenarios, so there's no need to even have to lure those out. And at this point, the dragons have a clear path all the way out to the town halls, and that's an easy way to a 2-star right there. So, the thing I wanted to point out here was just remember trash buildings matter, at least as far as steering troops. So pay attention to the layouts of bases and see if there are structures that you can take out to ensure that your dragons move in the line that you expect them to. Now, and right, so Dick of the Week, Dick Move of the Week. Unfortunately, your commentator is the one that gets that award this year or this week. And let me point out what had happened. So I'm rank 18, and I was matched up against Killer. No problem. I end up 2-starring him, and then I wait my requisite amount of time to get my second attack. Somewhere along the line, I'm looking at this base, Zavi. And then there's this base, Carrie. We're talking in clan chat, and the conversation goes something like this. I go, okay, I'm set up to go attack Kari. Gogo says, no, dude, that's mine. I'm like, okay, no problem. You got him. Good luck. 5 minutes later, why did you attack Kari? Oh, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just attacked Kari. And when Gooch told me to attack Zavi, and just in a moment of hyper concentration, I just lost focus and realized that I had attacked the wrong target. I meant to go attack this guy, and I ended up attacking this guy. Now, why does that matter? So let's take a look. Kari's base had one design defect that we were going to exploit. Number one was all of his air defenses were clustered together, which make them really susceptible to a coring attack by dragons. And the other problem was his air defenses were really low. So this was a perfect base to dragon attack. And what did I do? I sent hogs against this guy, and I was only able to 1-star him. Now, the way Rolly was able to come in and clean up my mess, but because I had wasted this attack on him, I wasn't able to come in towards the end and participate. There were a bunch of targets that had town halls exposed with that were easy 2-stars. I could 2-star these bases in my sleep, and unfortunately I had already wasted that attack. It was 102 to 102, and there was nothing I could do. Instead, he had to go up against this guy who had fully upgraded defenses, at least air defenses, and was only able to do what he could do against the base like that. So, guys, we all have attacks that we are very good at, and then some that we are working on. The lesson here is that everybody needs to diversify their portfolio of attacks, learn how to operate mixed trophy armies, to do different things, because it's not always about the 3-star. In this case, a couple of 2-star battles would have decided the outcome of this, and saving those attacks for those type of scenarios is really what it's all about. So obviously first round, go for the 3-star as much as possible, especially for the bases that are susceptible to those attacks. But for the second and third rounds, we really need to think about reconfiguring our armies to go for the high percentage 2-star wins, and that's going in with a mixed army of hogs, dragons, giants, wizards, the whole the full package. A guy came in with 200 archers and was able to 1-star me, and that could have been the difference between a win and a loss in this particular case. So. Um, yeah, Gogo, I'm sorry about that. I'll do better next time. It was an honest mistake, and I need to not pay so much attention to the game. Uh, that I lose focus like that. But again, all in all, great job, guys. 90% participation, 102 to 102 got us 40% bonuses, which is that's better than 20%, and it's definitely better than nothing. It was a really, really fun clan war. I know that it was kind of annoying that at the end some guy was able to log on and gem up an army to for a quick win. But what are you going to do? That's the nature of the game. Uh, yeah, so that's it for this. That's it for this update. Go ahead and refill those elixir buckets, and we'll see you on the next clan war this weekend. Take care.